Good evening, ESWATINI. Welcome to your 10 o'clock news bulletin. My name is Yemaswati and I will be reading this evening's news with you. Let's get started with our headlining stories. Residents of Ntinini are unhappy with the conduct of a local church. The police diving force searches tirelessly for the body of a man. And the ESWATINI community school faces threats to march by parents. Those were our headlining stories. Let's get right back into our bulletin. But before we do, a message from WaterAid encouraging Yemaswati to continue to practice safety and good hygiene during this time. Now, the 2nd of April marked World Autism Day, and the Ministry of Education chose to commemorate the day by raising awareness to the condition in the educational sector as well as in family lives. We conducted an interview with the specialists at the ministry as well as parents raising children with autism. The parents say that educational songs help to improve the learning ability of the children. The Ministry of Education is putting a spotlight on Down syndrome and autism as both March and April mark international observations of the holidays commemorating the conditions. We conducted an interview with a specialist within the ministry, as well as with parents who have first-hand experience with children with Down syndrome. Speaking about both conditions, specialist Figile Shongwe explained that both Down syndrome and autism are not classified as diseases and shouldn't be treated as such, but rather should be approached as conditions that can be managed and improved. While special needs teacher Queeneth Gama stressed the importance of early identification and detection of the condition.
Umhlaba kubhalele isuku mhla ka-21 March mhlaba wonke bayagubhe for International Day for Down syndrome. Lokusho ukuthi ke i-Down syndrome akusiso sifo, simo nje umntwana latalwa naso lesikhinyabeta ingqondo, indlela lacabanga ngayo, indlela lesingathi phecelezi it's an intellectual disability. Ngokhubateka, and then ngalana ka autism, i-autism ke yona nayo simo umntwana labhekana naso noma umuntu labhekana naso lesithikabeta indlela lakhuluma ngayo.
Ngalesinye isikhathi ipen loyibekile mhlambe ngibhaki uyamthanza color red, so yamnaka lamafastelweni mhlambe kunema charts la emabonzeni, yena isikhathi lesiningi nakwenteka amaningi lama charts uyasuluka eclassini ubuka le setinkhomba leto ngiyabona ukuthi hayi man lo mfana lona wehlukile.
Parent Nokanya Dlamini relates as her personal experiences as a parent of a child with Down syndrome.
Nangalokuthi ke bona banawo lama physical features, bayabonakala lokuthi wo emehlo abo akungazuthi aya ngasetulu ngazuthi yes abheke etulu, insamo yabo yimfishane nenyamanyamana lenengi.
Dlamini says parents must be motivated and patient when it comes to dealing with children with the condition. Reporting for Channel Yemaswati News, Abongile Mabuza with Samgelisiwe Mabuza, Baban. The Ministry of Economic Planning and Development opened a business sensitization workshop aimed at making people within business more aware of the specific roles they play in the economy, especially during the economic census. Now, the exercise will be the Kingdom's second since 2012. The Ministry of Economic Planning and Development hosted a business sensitization workshop that is a part of the ongoing ESWATINI economic census for 2021-2022. The census is an exercise to determine the number of businesses as well as the contribution provided by the businesses in the economy during this period.
Njalo emva kwesikhathi lesithide kubhekekile ukuthi si rebase national accounts figures elive. Lama national accounts figures ngola lafaka ekhathi labo GDP nalamanye ama indicators la ngona asitshela ukuthi umnotho ume kanjani. Kulomsebenzi nasiwenda ke ngila khona kutawubonakala khona ngalama sectors la khona in the country. kunema sectors like kukhona laba kulo hlangothi laba
The aim of the workshop is to sensitize the business world on the roles they can play during the conduct of the economic census.
So lesiwendako ke le economic census ngiyo le tasiniketa le structure ukuthi sime kanjani ngiphi I structure noma ngiphi sector le leadako in contributing ku economy ngabe I manufacturing noma I agriculture noma ngiphi ngetulu kwaloko kutawu siniketa naloko ukuthi le kusukela emuva bekuhamba kanjani ngiphi I sector le improveako noma lelizinga leke improve ukuthi likanjani within the sectors ngabe I sector letsite ibonakala ishona phasi yini noma ibonakala iyadlondlobala lokutawuthi ekugcineni kwakhona labo lababuke ema policies.
Reporting for Channel Yemaswati News, Abongile Mabuza. Samgelisiwe Mabuza, Ibane. The NDMA and IDM have ventured into a partnership that will produce educational programs on risk management to be taught at the IDM Institute once regulated. Now, the two entities hope that the programs, once regulated, will help advance the country in this subject. The NDMA and Tertiary Institution IDM convened to sign a memorandum of understanding ahead of their partnership that will see both parties provide courses on relief disaster management. The leading figures of the partnership, Dr. Ndipete Mabila of the IDM and the NDMA's CEO Russell Dlamini, expressed their enthusiasm for the partnership, stating that the courses would help increase knowledge of the subject, which in turn will fill in the gaps in this regard, thus advancing the country.
Lamhla sihlangane lapha ngalokho ukuthi sitosayina nasisivumelwana lesisivusetelelako nesikolo Institute of Development Management lekhona kangawana nasemaveni lamanye eBotswana neLesotho emkhatsini ke wa NDMA nayo lesikolo lesiphakeme ukuthi kanye sakhe tifundo te kunciphisa kushaya tehlakalo even disaster risk reduction letawufunza khona even la Kangwane lesivumelane ke namhlanje sisho ukuthi sitawusakha letifundo letahlukahlukene
eMaswati ke basolo asemuva kulolu hlangothi lolo kepha ke singu IDM sibambisena NDMA sibe sithi asibambane sisikwadi kusita eMaswati athole ukucecesheka njengoba sitarget ukuthi kulomnyaka lotako after lema programs ethu sangenile ku regulator lotawa accreditor bese siyakhona ukuthi sisite eMaswati ngoba lesikutargetile la is not to respond ngalesikhathi sesehlakalo sikhuluma nge-disaster risk reduction losho ukuthi kunciphisa le mithelela lebesita ngalama-disasters even kuze ukuthi sonke singeMaswati sathi ukuthi kubani kumele abambe ini before tifike tehlakalo noma ngabe setikhona bese kuyateka ukuthi bani wenda inini singathi khanzi sesishayisana noma sesithwele tandla enhloko.
Reporting for Channel Yemaswati News, Abongile Mabuza, Wuthando Kuhle Mdluli, Mbabane. Now, users of public transport found themselves in a bit of a pickle today in Mbabane after public transport operators staged a strike, refusing to fare any of their vehicles, thus bringing operations to a halt.
There were allegations and reports on social media that Mbabane town is going to be on standstill today as members of the public transport sector are planning to hold a strike. Indeed, we noticed that there was no public transport inside Mbabane town and inside that bus rank as commuters were seen stranded around that town. Our reporters then observed that a number of travelers were escorted out of their public transport as other operators demanded that they should not be allowed to carry anybody in and outside Mbabane town. We noted, however, that it was business as usual in some shops, even though there were allegations of some shops being looted inside the town, including a bottle store. Upon close inspection, we noted that there was no looting inside that shop, but rather a group of people gathered inside and they were hoping to get alcoholic drinks. Members of the Real Police Service was seen inside town to make sure that there is peace and stability in Mbabane town. We then noted that it was business as usual also in some schools as students continued with their classes. It was a huge inconvenience. People who were hugely affected by the strike were public transport users as they were seen hitchhiking their way in and out of Mbabane town.
Now, residents of Nsinini are not at all impressed with Alta Barnacle Holy Ghost Ministries after the church took underage children to a mountainside prayer camp without the consent of parents for days on end.
Community leaders of Nsinini in the Hoho region, where it was reported that some members of the community have been missing. They were later reported that they've been praying in a certain mountain in the Lubombo region. The community leader says that they do not have a problem with the prayer. However, they do have a serious problem with how the church handled this situation. This so because they took underage children to the prayer without telling the parents of the children, who then reported the matter to the community leaders and also reported to the police about the missing children.
Unokunene ngicabanga lokuthi nje akukabi into lehla kahle ikakhulu umphakathi wakaZinyane njengoba leli sonto labekwa ngumphakathi wakaZinyane kube into lengasiphathi kahle nangekuthi ke beyithinza abatali lento kube khona ukukhathateka kwetakhamuti kakhulu batali bebantwana labancane labanye lababayela mhlawumbe eminyakeni lengasuka tikwelishumi namine kuya ku tikwelishumi nesikhombisa so ayikabi into lenhle empeleni ibange nalesive sala kulendzawo sengalijabuleli lelisonto lesikhola ukuthi kusekunenge mhlawumbe lokungakhulunywa kukhulunyiswane lisonto nendlunkulu kanye mhlawumbe nemphaka ngathi netakhamuti kukhulunyiswane ngaleyo ndlela ukutakhulunyiswana ngayo asite mhlawumbe inkinga nemthandazo kodwa ke yini lebange ukuthi ningatsheli batali beni phela nibabikele ngoba singumphakathi sihlushwe batali labaye bawubika emphakathi baphinze batali bagijima bawuvule emaqala emaphoyiseni.
A brother of a certain member who also attended the prayer on the mountain said that as a family they were really worried about the missing brother because he did not tell them where he was going and how long he would be gone.
Lokwazivisa buhlungu ukuthi kuhamba kwakhe bayangasipotheli ukuthi uyaphi. Sazama ke kutracer la satracer khona. Basitshela ukuthi uye enkonzweni mashaya labazali bathandazana ngoba sabathola ngalomsombuluko. Lokwasithabukisa sathi mase sivalele ihinya ukuthi sebahambile banele indaba lenze bathi kunelihambe litoba khona isontweni lapha. Sathuka kakhulu kangangokuba satshela sube manje sowumane ufile siyambona semoshali. Sathi singalesihlanu somlanda sitomngcwaba. Ngiko wasena nje sasukuma satsabuka kakhulu ukuthi lo mse simfundise kangaka sengasala isikolwa sifike sesiphumile ukuthi socedzile kufunza. Sangakushiya nje konke lokwasathi lihambo lesingaladi ukuthi sobhekephi.
Mina bengeva kuhlungu lokuthi tishela hambe lapha esikoleni ngoba lesikolo sas upgrade kakhulu. More especially nje bantwana bebaphasa kakhulu nje njengesingisi. Mina bengithi nje mina iministry nje wona imdiscipline. Ngaleyo ndlela etamdisciplina ngayo lapha itawukhanza khona emaphutha akhe khona. Ngoba nje emaphutha lekaphathekako nje ngiloko bese uyabamba ivuselelo takhe kanti sengemalanga esikolo kanti bekuvulwa netikolo ngumsebenzi bomningi kakhulu esikolweni.
For Channel Yemaswati, I'm Gary Carlos, Nsinini Hoho region.
Welcome back from the ad break. Let's get right back into our bulletin. But before we do, a message from Water Aid encouraging Yemaswati to continue to practice safety and good hygiene during this time. Now, the police diving force is searching tirelessly for the body of a man who drowned in the Great Usutu River on Sunday. Now, the body is one of two that were swept away by the river during a Jericho cleansing on Sunday. The other body has been recovered. Two men drowned in the Great Usutu River this past Sunday during a Jericho group cleansing. A pastor drowned while trying to rescue one of his congregants after the ceremony took a turn for the worst.
Sisengakaqedi mina wethu sisawusebenza sesiuqalile njengoba usho nje kuselanga lesibili siuqalile but ke awukakapheli ngoba labantu labasilahlekele amandini babili so sisakhona ukuthi sikhona ukuthola umtimbo wamunye okusho ukuthi lo munye solo usesekhona emandini.
Sicela uvetele umbukele ekhaya ukuthi kwendekeni kahle kahle basebagcine basemandini lawo kunene.
Cha sho ukuthi laba bekunene ngakuthola kwethu ukuthi bebede emandini bede ukuthi bato gcina inkonzo yesiprofit ngawusho njalo. Bebede eswashweni tiyati ke tayona. Bebede eswashweni shothi kwase sekwendeka lo kwendekile ukuthi babe senzaweni enemandla amanenge mhlawumbe kanti nalo ukuthi umfula vele emanti awuboka amanenge ukuthi phela imvula betithe kunayina lokusho ukuthi emanti bekangedekile emfuleni. Sekungaba kucela ke kodwa ke kuwe Yemaswati kithi ngeke sikuvimbe ukuthi wena ungayeswashweni ngoba usayona. Kepha sekungaba kucela ukuthi la noma ngabe ngisayona noma ngabe ngithandaza ku Jericho sidinga ukuthi ngiyeswashweni asimane sisebenzise emadamu nemifula lesiyadini lesiconza kahle nakhona sibuke lesimo salamantu ukuthi lamanti ethu ngaleso sikhathi leso singayi ngenjayelo siye ukuthi ngalelo langa lelo noma ngaleso sikhathi leso lamanti ethu abonakala akanjani abonakala anganani singeviseli emanti siwevisele ngemphefumulo akusiko lokuhle kodwa ke ukuthi lesingamsolwanyana kodwa sekungaba kucela kulophilako nalo sesele ukuthi asingeve emanti siweve ngemphefumulo.
The report of the drowning was recorded at 8 a.m. on Sunday morning, and the body of one of the two deceased was retrieved from the river on Monday. The police are currently still in pursuit of the other body. Reporting for Channel Yemaswati News, Abongile Mabuza, with Samgelsiwe Mabuza, Bunya. Parents at the ESWATINI Community Primary School are upset with the school's demands to meet school fees. Now, we were called upon by a parent at the school who expressed his grievances to us. He also expressed his intention to stage a march together with the student body in protest of the demands.
Some parents at ESWATINI Community High School expressed their frustrations today during an interview with our reporters. They stated that their principal is not lenient with them in terms of paying school fees, as they mentioned that they are not allowed to pay school fees in deposits. A parent who was fuming stated that they have already discussed ways to march to the school, as he mentioned that it is frustrating as the school was built by the community, which makes it hard to understand why the principal is not cooperating with the parents.
ESWATINI Community School is not a government school, is not like a mission school, it's a community school. This is built by the parents themselves. So what you see here now, the headmaster has chased away all the children who owe like school fees. And the school fees in the school is very exorbitant. We're speaking of an amount of about 8,000 per child. That's too much. So what we are saying here is that the children who have been chased away, we have grouped together now. We want to come and march to the school and express our grievances. And our core grievance here is that the school should not be chasing away the children. The children have nothing, have no blame. It's us parents. If we owe the school, the headmaster should have some means of how to get the money from us, not chase away the children.
Our reporters then went to ESWATINI Community High School to sort for a comment at the school's administration. We were met by the secretary and the chairman, who mentioned that the principal is not present currently at the school, but requested our reporters to leave their numbers and they will call us back. The chairman stated, however, that what the parents are saying is not true, as they allowed students to pay their school fees in deposit. He then stated that the parent has... I am Zandile Mpapane for Channel Yemaswati News with Samgelsiwe Mabuza and Tandoguhle Mdluli Ezulwini.
And we head over to Bulukwa now, where 2 buses got stuck in mud. Commuters and schoolgoers found themselves stranded after the 2 vehicles succumbed to the conditions. 2 buses ferrying commuters were a source of attraction for people in Lubulu this morning after the vehicles found themselves stuck in the mud while en route to Manzini. Commuters were left stranded, with some even having to take the oldest form of transport. The cause of the buses...
bacala kuvula lapha lokuthi lethi moto ekhona ehamba lana ngoba kulidzaka kulibumba lokho siyatele contract levuma igwaqo nge-steel for sure yavula yashiya kanje nalela isivalele ekhona soye kacala ikusebenda sathi seyisista uhamba phila nje abantwana bethulekile bahambe nyakuye esikolweni emabhasi naka nje abantu babona vimba umgwaqo lapha akude lasesehlelweni sesizamile kwagubha ayisehluleka basehlule
besicela nisibambise sakhise lo mgwaqo because thina incumbi yabo sisuka khona lamakhaya siye khona ematohweni. Manje sitahamba kanjani litulu nakunathi imvula ngesikhona ekhamba kubi simile sipakile emsakade kubi imbamba sathi sitawuthini bantu abesikolwa bothishela netisebenzi tetinkampani nathi diphelele la simile emsakade kakhulu siyacela umgwaqo nje lokuthamke embono nje nophumele empaka asebake bawunake kube khona tivoti yokuhamba bawunake
awukalungise umgwaqo la kafanga ngihamba letimoto khona kanzi kunoludzaka solo kwathiwa ngimsombululo tot namhlanje letimoto tibonje tibhajiwe akusahambi lutho ke manje lokuya ngimbaka abantwana esikoleni kumbaka abasayi elubhuku abasayi enjalweni abayi kandango abasayi lawetibhedlela abasayi konke sekudlo lo njengobona nje mnakethu kuthi ukujubako la ngenxa lokujubeka kwalomgwaqo bese ngacela ke ukuthi kule contract ayimane phela itosilungisela itosigrade la ifaka amahliphazi la letimoto khona kuwe lamhle nje akwendeki lutho mnakethu vele nje kufa kuhlushekwe nje lamhle sihlamenzelele uhulumeni kusimani ingosi yami potosilungisela umgwaqo lo ebhuku mnakethu.
The cause of the buses being stuck was apparently due to the route used that is the only one open for transportation in the area at the moment. The main road is currently under construction. Reporting for Channel Yemaswati News, Abongile Mabuza with Kimbili Mavuso, Lubulu. We head over to Mbuleni now, where 2 young men stand accused of theft after they were found with heavy-duty chains in their possession. Nonhlanhla Twala and Gary Carlos bring us our story.
The 2 young men were found with wire chains at Kwaduseni. It is not clear where they would have gotten the chains from and where they were taking the chains to. Mbuleni Community Police suspects that these chains were stolen. According to Mr. Jabulani Dlamini, who is the head of Community Police at Mbuleni, he stated that there are many instances of stolen copper wire around that place.
Siphenya ikakhulukati labasindwa umthwalo lebabonakala abasindwa umthwalo kulandzela kwebiwa kwelithusi etindzabeni letiningi siyabona lithusi liyebiwa kubiwa lithusi lelithathwa emagizeni kube khona lithusi lemagesi so ke sitsithe sisaye kulo mkhankaso lo wekubuka kwekuphenya lithusi sase sesikhanza la ti-comment tabo kunana tingetane letingisha letigcwele letikhwama tabo asati ke ukuthi titsethwe plan ngetane sisatawulandzelela lokuthi tingetane nzena tithathwaphi lebatiphethe
Letinketane leti kuye kube tinketane tani futhi
kunenge lokusetshenzwa ngetane kuba kunenge lokusetshenzwa ngetane ukhanze ukuthi mhlawumbe lolunye luchachwe emotini kuma trucks lolunye ukhanzale ukuthi mhlawumbe belusebenzela ukuthita ekhaya ukhanze ukuthi seluyajujwa lona mawutibuka dinsha vele betsebenzile mawutibuka lobusha abantu
bathini bona labafana nani babuda
bathi batithole phansi leku impossible ukuthi ungatithola phansi tidisha kanje.
Reporting for Yemaswati channel, I am Nhlanhla Twala with Gary Carlos at Matapa.
Well, that's all the news we have for you for this bulletin. Let's take a recap of our headlining stories. Residents of Ntinini are unhappy with the conduct of a local church. The police diving force searched tirelessly for the body of a drowned man. And parents at the ESWATINI Community Primary School threatened to protest. Well, that's all we have for you this evening. Thank you for joining us, ESWATINI. As always, keep safe, keep well, and have a good one.